All right. So resume, I actually do a lot of resume development at the Career Center because it's the next step. Like students come, we do career exploration. Next step is resume development. And we, like I said, we really want to tailor our resume to the job we're looking for. So, but first, let's talk about the general format. Um, a lot of companies right now, especially big organizations, they don't take like printed out resume. They take online resume, and online resume are often scanned by ATS, which is a software that just filters out resume. If you do like a quote unquote creative resume, like you just look up a creative resume online, um, it would look a lot more fun and interesting than this example on the right. But ATS might filter it out because it doesn't recognize what you're trying to do. So if you're gonna go on a in-person career fair, do whatever you want. But if it's gonna be online, we highly encourage you to stick with a quote unquote boring traditional format just to be on the safe side. And also, ATS is kind of dumb. Like if it's too big or too small, it will also not recognize it. So try to use 10 or 11 or 12 size font. These are the common fonts that we know ATS recognize for sure. So try to use these. Also the margin, like if you have a lot to say, still try to fit it in one page and don't be too aggressive with the margin. If it's gonna be like too close to the border, it might get cut off, and then your sentence is all wacky, and then they won't recognize the resume again. Always send in a PDF because it looks professional. And resume is about being concise, so use bullet point whenever possible. Don't throw in a paragraph, unless like you do the summary part. Yeah, that part is fine. You can do like a kind of like a paragraph, but like under the experience and everything else, bullet point, because research showed that a lot of employers spend less than 7 seconds on a resume. Like they literally just scan the resume. They don't want to read a paragraph. And don't use images. It's an American thing. Like other countries they might, but in America we try to avoid images. It's unprofessional, and no, they think it's unprofessional. So talking about how they only spend like 7 seconds on a resume average, you want to be the one they spend more than 7 seconds on, and you catch the attention with strong action verbs. Because you read a bullet point, the first thing you notice is that first action verb. Rather than saying you helped, you assisted, you aided, talk about exactly what you did. In counseling, you want to talk about you collaborated. You want to talk about how you encouraged, you empowered, there's a lot of the helping skills, all the helping skills right here. Motivated, resolved. There are a lot of different action verbs that we encourage you to start a sentence with so that they know exactly what you're doing, not a vague, like general term like you help a professor do this. And also, when you say help, you're kind of understating what you did, because you did do that thing. Why are you talking about how you helped? You just say you did it. And another thing that we think is important is quantifying your accomplishments. So think of these bullet points not like what you did in this job, it's what you accomplished in this job. So for example, what you did is your job duty. You taught a cooking class. Not very impressive. A lot of people have done this before. How can you make this like an accomplishment? Well, you can use a stronger verb, like you conducted cooking demonstrations and you presented to a class. Presenting to a class is like what I'm doing right now, but how can I make this a strong statement? Well, I have done more than 10 presentations. I've talked to a total of more than 200 students. Add those numbers to your accomplishment statement so they see the magnitude of what you have done. And no, let's say you want to go into sales. You sold iPhones. You sold 200 iPhones. You sold 200 iPhones in a week. You sold 200 iPhones in a week, increasing sales by 10%. No, keep adding on these accomplishments so that each bullet point is something that they would want to read, not just a job duty. If it's just the job duty, I mean, they can look up your job duty. They can just type in the job you did and they can read the job duty. So avoid just talking about your main responsibilities. These are accomplishment statements that distinguish you from all your competitors. So quantify and use strong action verbs. All right. And a little bit about cover letters. Cover letter is like your way. It's like you telling a story. You know, it's showing that you have ability to convince people to tell a story, and that you'll probably be interesting to talk to in an interview, because interview is a lot about storytelling. You want to, let me go down here. Do we have a star method thing here? Oh, I don't. So interview question, like tell me a time when, like very common interview question. Most likely you'll get at least one of those. Tell me a time when. And you answer these questions with the star method, the task, oh no, the situation, the task, the action, and the result. So for example, situation, I have to sell iPhones. Task, I have to sell all the iPhones in this room because that's my quota. And action, what did I take? Well, I advertised, I pitched iPhones to individuals passing by. And the result is what I said earlier. I sold 200 iPhones in a week, increasing sales by 10%. So this STAR method is a way for you to not only talk about what you did, but like highlight your achievements. And that's what you want to do in an interview, on your resume, and in a cover letter. You're telling a story about your accomplishment. So here we talk. I'm actually use a different slide because I think it'll be more helpful that way. So handbook. This is oh yes, I'm gonna link you all the handbook right now. So this is the job and internship handbook that we encourage students to look into. A lot of the things I talked about, the action verb, 5 steps to writing accomplishment statements, one of them being quantifying. But here, let's look at the cover letter. Where did it go? All right, cover letter. So the basis of a cover letter is, well, one, you want to talk about the position you're applying for. That's the first paragraph. You need to clearly state what is it you're applying for, because they won't know what they're looking for if they don't know what you're applying for. So just straight up tell them what you're applying for. And then you talk about your relevant skills. Okay, I'm applying for this. Why would you hire me? Because I have all these skills. It's kind of like your the experience part of your resume, but you put it in a nice paragraph. The other one is a bullet point. This one you can actually tell a story. Tell me a time when. And then you have another paragraph. So okay, now I want this position. I qualify for this position, but why with this company? Like there are so many companies with this position. Show them that you have research skills. You want this company in specific. You want to work with them because, I don't know, your mission matches, your values matches, whatever. Find something in common that makes them remember you. And then finally, you thank them. Tell them, well, if you're interested, make it easy for them, right? Call me right now or email me, whatever. Make it easy for them so that after being interested in you, they will contact you. And this is an example of I think this is an actual cover letter. Name and stuff got changed, but this is an actual cover letter. They got the position, and yeah, look into how a successful cover letter um, was like. Big interview. So you got your cover letter, you got your resume, you got the interview. Now you got to prepare for an interview. Obviously, the Career Center has resources for that. You can, well, how did I get it? I got it, it's somewhere in the Career Center homepage. You click a lot of things to go into it. So I don't recommend you doing that. So that's why I linked you, because it's faster. But big interview. You can come to the Career Center, you can do mock interviews, but you can also, if you're more of the self-help type, I highly encourage big interview. They have so many different tools in big interview that really it's almost like a class. If you actually do everything, it's almost like a class. They have examples. Oh, I gotta log in because it's not free, but it is free with sensory students. So they have, I'll just very quickly show you the different resources they have. So first, oh, they have resume help too, but let's practice. So practice interview. You can choose specific majors or like career paths to practice. So for example, I want to go into mental health counseling. I already started like by industry. There's one specific for mental health counselors with more specialized potential questions they would ask. If you want to go to grad school, admissions, you want to go to government, whatnot. So practice some of the interviews so that you know what to prepare for, you know what to expect, and practice makes perfect. If you feel like you really don't know what to talk about yet, try the answer builder. They kind of walk you through how can I start building my story, how to answer like this, tell me a timeline question. After these two, if you just like, you feel like you know quite a bit, you just want to randomly practice just to hone your skills, do the interview roulette. Or if you feel like you just want to see all the questions, do the question library. And there are options to record yourself. So you record yourself and you watch it afterwards so that you know what are things that you don't want to do, what are things that you want to do more of. It's kind of cringy watching yourself, but you'll get used to it. And things to avoid, like not ever visiting a career center. We highly discourage you to do. It's a free resource. You paid for it already. And we are nice people. We just want to help. So consider it. Internship is a really common way for people to get something in their field. So Handshake has like an internship option. It's also where you can feel like you can submit a resume with very little experience and still not feel bad about it, because that's what an internship is. It's your first experience. It's where you start building experience to get a job. So don't overlook internships. There are a lot of paid internships. They're supposed to be paid unless they're nonprofit or like government. Those could be unpaid, but legally, if it's not like a nonprofit, they're supposed to be all paid. Procrastinating, I mean, that's just general. As a student, try not to procrastinate, but I don't think it's ever too late. You can start whenever you want, hopefully now. Depending on one source, like how I was talking about LinkedIn, Indeed, Handshake, or even just Google, use the resources. Use all of the resources you can find because they are free, and it's up to you to do the research to see if you think the company is legit. But I mean, as a psych major, I'm sure you have done research papers. You can do that. Not looking through a narrow lens, like how we were talking about what we can do with this major, right? Get ideas, informational interview, get ideas, get inspired. Psychology is not just about being a psychologist. Applying. So you may feel like you don't qualify, just apply to it anyway. you never know. If everyone's intimidated and no one's applying, then you'll just get it just because of that. Researching an organization, you know, how in the cover letter, you want to research that organization so that you know what to say, you know how to pitch yourself to them. Oh yeah, sorry. Yes. Yes, and these things, yeah, tailor resume, yes. And next step, come to your career center. Check out all the resources I've talked about before. And yeah, this was yesterday, but.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ming, for presenting. This was amazing, so informational. I'm so sorry to cut you off. I do realize, yeah, we forgot to let you know earlier that we end at 11:50. But thank you so much. This was amazing, and we will provide the recording. I think if you ever want to look, if anybody wants to look back. Oh, I think it's just our board members now. But awesome. Thank you so much.
Ming, I have a quick question. If anybody wants to see you specifically at the Career Center, how can we send them your way?
Yes, I have a link. I have a personal link. But if you make an appointment with the Career Center, you actually can choose who you want to see.
Okay.
But I will copy the link. Just
perfect. And then
thank you.
On our newsletter, we'll send that out.
All right. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great day, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks for having
Okay.
me.
Thank you. Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks for coming. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.